Right, so I'm going to show you how to do the awning now, and more importantly how to do it on your own. So first things first, the handle is kept, there's a bracket behind the driver's seat here, so just move the table out of the way and you can see it wall mounted just there, so just release that. Right. Just put that back for now. So with the awnings, they've got two hinges that just allow you to get a sort of Z shape. It's important to remember you want to close the sliding door when you're setting up the awning, and equally extending it or retracting it. It's key just to make sure that door's closed. Right, so with this system here, you push it in, at the top you'll be able to turn it about 90 degrees, and when you pull it down you'll see that's locked in. That's where you want to be, and that prevents any problems. When you're in that position, just start unwinding it. So what I tend to do is go a little bit of the way. You need to have some clearance to be able to get the legs out, but you don't want to go too far because it will be too much on the bracket. But about there, once we're in that position, then we can get the legs out. So if you look along here, these systems, they're sprung loaded, so if I just push against that lightly, that allows me to pull it out. And then again, this bracket is on a hinge, so you can slide that to the end, and then that's this bit. That's to get the leg out. I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll show you how. Actually, I'll show you how to extend them first. So this is release. The sleeve will be in that position typically. Pull that out of the way. Give the bottom section, just lift it up a little bit, and that would just allow this to come down, and then you'll feel it. It'll be loose. So what I tend to do is grab this handle, extend that up as much as you can. When you're in that position, lock it down, and that's it. I can take my hand away, and it's set. That's a good position. And then we're just going to do the same again on the other side. So push against the end of it, allows it to pull out. With the hinge, because if I kept going, you'd see I'd hit the vehicle. There's a hinge here, so you can pull that forward, gives you a bit more clearance. Slide it to the end, and then as before, sleeve goes up to the top. Just lift the bottom part of the leg, lift that up a little bit, and you'll feel that go slack. And then, as before, grab this bit, lift that up. This gets locked down, then you're set. And then all we're doing when you're on your own is just essentially walking the legs out. As you can imagine, it'd be a lot easier with more than one of you, but it can be done on your own. So legs get walked out, just start unwinding. Get to a point, that's about as far as you go with it really, and then again, just walk them out. So you might need to do this 2 or 3 times. And then again, wind it out. And that looks pretty good. I'll show you what would happen if you overwound it. It's not the end of the world, but you'll see if you overextend it, it will go slack. So it's nice and tight at the moment. You see that go slack? You can see it's all saggy and it's obviously not very nice. So if that happens, just wind it back a little bit, give yourself a bit of tension, and that's how these tend to perform best. So that's the awning assembled. The last thing to do, if you're on a campsite on a grassy bank, you can put the pegs in. Obviously being on concrete, I can't do that here, but the pegs, very simple. Just go through the bottom of these holes and you either hammer or stamp the pegs in, and it just gives a bit more additional support just to secure these in. It's worth noting as well, although it's a great system, it's not perfect. If it is really horrible conditions, like really windy or something, I wouldn't feel confident leaving this set up, just because it's like you get a gust of wind and you could get unlucky and damage the vehicle. So if the conditions are terrible, like really windy, then I would avoid doing it. But yeah, if it's rainy, no problems at all. One thing to note, if it is quite rainy and you're using this as shelter, it's a good idea to have one leg slightly lower than the others. Looks a bit odd, but if you have a bit of a slope on the canvas, then that just prevents any water pooling in the middle, and it just means it will run off. But yeah, other than that, that's the main things, and then I will show you how to retract it. So again, it's key, make sure this door's closed. And then we're just going to do essentially the opposite of what we've just done. So just wind it in, get to a certain point where it's probably a bit precarious, and then just walk the legs in. Because of the way the legs are stored in this bracket here, that the canvas, it does need to be extended to a certain point to give you the clearance to pull the legs out. But I'm just going to start walking these in for now. About there. Again, just winding it in. Cameraman. Right. See, I think about there. I feel confident this is going to take away. I'll show on this leg first, I guess. So slide the sleeve up. If you release that latch, that allows this leg to go through, and then what you want to do is get it as high as you can go, push the latch in, and then pull that down, and then that's it, you're locked in. And as we did before, just reversing it. So this hinge, slide that all the way to the end, or to the middle rather. When you're in that position, hold the hinge flush, and then lastly we're just pushing against the leg to get it behind this little bit here, and that keeps it safe. Same again on this side. So release the latch, grab the bottom bit, extend it, go as high as you can with the bottom section. We'll just try and swing it around so you can see. So yeah, bring it as high as you can, and when it's at the top you can push that down, pull the sleeve over the top, and you're all set. So hinge, I'm going to slide that across to the middle, and then as before, spring loaded, so just push against it, that's in, and you can see all there is to do is just wind it in. And then lastly, to get the handle out, just push it up to the top, give it a turn, try the other way if you can't, and then just pull it down. Nice and easy, and it just goes back in the bracket on the door pillar.